everyone, today I'm here to talk all about The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Era Folk series, I believe it is called. First one was entitled Cruel Prince. If you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on that, I have a whole video review of it right here for you to go see. I really enjoyed it. Suffice to say, this series is definitely very hyped on BookTube. Everyone has read it. A lot of people love it. Some people don't like it, understandably so. I really enjoyed The Cruel Prince. I gave it a 5 out of 5, but I don't think it was like my favorite of favorites I've ever read. So I wasn't like in love with it as much as everybody else is. But when I read The Wicked King, I loved it. I thought it was great. Again, I gave it a 5 out of 5. Like, it's very interesting book, very interesting series. I eat them up, like I read them so quickly because I'm so invested in the storyline. So yeah, if you don't know what The Cruel Prince is about, The Cruel Prince follows our character named Jude, and Jude has two sisters. She has one twin sister named Taryn, one older sister named Vivian, and they live in the mortal world. And one day when they are all very young, a fey man comes knocking at their door, and he kills Jude's mother and father, and he whisks them off to the fairyland. It so happens to turn out that her older sister Vivi is actually half fey. So the guy that actually killed Jude's dad was Vivi's actual dad. So Jude's mom was living in the fey world, married this guy named Maddox, I think that's his name, and she had Vivi, and then she ran away. And so Maddox came and wreaked vengeance and killed the parents and whisked them away. So Jude is now 16, 17, I forget exactly the age, and she's been living in Fairy for all of her life. That's all she knows. She really loves it. She wants to live there forever. Her older sister does not want to live there. She wants to move back to the mortal world. So this whole series is about fairies and mortals and the dynamic that plays between them, and also the political scheming that goes along with it. Jude wants to thrive in this fairy world. She wants power, but it's hard because she is immortal and nobody treats her fairly because of that. Because that she is immortal, people often look down on her. Fairies try to do spells on her, all those many things. So this whole series is about Jude trying to get power and try to make it in the fairy world. So that's just a little bit about The Cruel Prince. If that sounds interesting to you, pick it on up. So overall, before I get into spoilers about The Wicked King, I thought the book was awesome. I gave it 5 out of 5, like I said. I think I like this more than the second one because I was already established into the world, already established into the political scheming that was going on, and everything about it. I love the romance in this book. It's got the hate to love romance trope that I just adore so freaking much. I like the side characters. I love the scheming. This book has so many twists and turns that you can't keep up with it. You can't trust anybody at all because somebody's always plotting against you behind your back, always. So I like this series, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know it's hyped and a ton of people talk about it and a ton of people rave about it. I like it. It's entertaining to me. It's very fascinating to read. Jude is a very morally gray character, whereas, and I don't know if I like her, but she's interesting to read about. Like, is she a good person? Probably not, but I like reading about her. So overall, 5 out of 5. Really, really enjoyed it. In case you are interested in the sequel, I would highly recommend picking it up. Now on for spoilers. I have a whole page written all about spoilers. So if you haven't read this book, please do not watch any further because I don't want to spoil it for you. I think mostly I'll just be spoiling the ending because that ending of the book was phenomenally done. Like, I did not see that coming. Huge cliffhanger, huge plot twist. I loved it. So many feelings about the ending. So that's what I'll probably be talking about the most in the spoiler sections. If you haven't read the book, please do not watch any further. So starting with the beginning of the book, Carden is now king and Jude is his satchel. I don't know how to say that. She's basically right hand to the king. In the first book, she made a deal with Carden that she would rule over him and he would obey her for 1 year and 1 day. And that's basically what she is. She is the power behind the throne. She is controlling Carden and he has to do everything she says. And she's very good because she grew up a fairy, so she knows all the ins and outs of fairy tricks. You know, a fairy could tell you, I'll give you what's in my pocket, but he could be like, I said I'll give you what's in my pocket, but today's the new year, so on a new year and full moon and all this other like ways to get out of the truth with being actually truthful. It's, I usually don't like books about fairies, but basically we have that going on. Maddox still wants Oak on the throne so he can control Oak, so we have that plot going on. Taryn and Locke are getting married, which is, I don't care about either of them because they're both kind of just not the best. Taryn though, that girl did us wrong. The Queen of Undersea makes some moves in this book. What else happens in this book? Jude kills Baelkin because I think she wouldn't have killed him if she wasn't in that predicament that she was in, that she had to fulfill this bargain. If she wouldn't have killed him, all this would have probably been the ending would have probably never happened. So it's like, why, dude, why? So she did that. Oak is the air fairy. I told you guys that, did I? I don't remember, but he's living in the mortal world with Vivi and Heather, and that's awesome that he's staying away. That's one thing I like about Jude is a very morally gray character. She has a lot of really horrible things about her, how she uses vengeance and how she controls people and how she uses violence for a lot of her answers, and she's like, I don't know, she's very morally gray. But one good thing I like about her is that she wants to keep her little brother safe. So she wants to put him in the mortal world and do whatever it takes to keep him safe. I do like that. That is one redeeming quality about Jude. But other than that, like, there's not a lot going on there for redeeming. What else happened? Oh, Ghost betrayed them all. I did not expect that. Like, Ghost betrayed them all, and like he gave her to, oh, Ghost. Oh, like, I don't love the whole Court of Shadows. Like, it's interesting to read about, but there's no character in particular that I'm really like invested in. One, I like Roach and I like the Bomb. I don't know, but Ghost was always just, you never knew, and now we know Ghost, you tricky. What else is happening? Oh, let's talk about the romance. So this whole romance in the first book is obviously Cardan and Jude, and how they both like literally hate each other. They both tell each other multiple times, like, I hate you, and that thrives them on more like chemistry, if you will. Like, they hate each other, but I think like Jude in this book is starting to realize that she hates how much she's starting to actually like him. Like, she's hating herself for having those feelings. And so there was a time these two got together in this book that was amazing. I loved it, and it's just a whole interesting dynamic, the relationship of how it's just hateful and hurtful, but they still kind of care about each other in their own like kind of sick way. I don't know. Then the fact of is that Jude was in a predicament at the end of the book, and then they got freaking married. She became Queen of Fairy. I did not see that coming. I never thought they would get married. So you're like, oh man, things are going to happen. They're going to treat each other nicely. They're married, for goodness sake. No, that does not happen. After Jude has lifted the like rule from him so he can have his own free will, he banishes her to the mortal world forever until like it's unlifted. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Whether or not Cardan is doing it for a good reason is still up for debate. You don't know with him. He's a very interesting character where sometimes you see him very redeemable and also maybe almost a good person. And then there are some times you're like, he's horrible. Like, there's no good things about him. He's conniving, he's sneaky, he does things for the wrong reasons. And this is still one that I'm 50-50 about. Like, he either was so sick of Jude and feeling the way he did about Jude that he's like, I have to send her away and I need to do whatever I need to do. Or he was trying to keep her safe and he's trying to do this for ultimately a bigger purpose. It's one of those. I mean, he's also very powerful. Like, we learn that he has a lot of control of the land and his magic and things like that. I don't know if that's going to come into play with the third book, but goodness, if that ending wasn't one of the best endings I've ever read. Like, I don't know. It was amazing. It had me shook, that's for sure. I did not expect it at all. What else happens at the end? Oh, Taryn betrays Jude and is working for Mag the whole time. Great twin sister. Horribleness. I think that's all the notes I have written down. I think mostly everybody will talk about the ending and how of a shocker it was, because it definitely was. Like, I did not see it coming. I hate the ending, but I also love it because it was such a good ending and I was so like insane. Like, it was such an amazing twist. But yeah, like I said, overall, I really enjoyed this book. Definitely can't wait for the third book. I know there's a title for it. I don't know what it is called, but either way, I loved it. Loved the ending. Loved this fairy world and how it's just very cruel and horrible, but I cannot get enough of it. So if you've read this book, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. Please let me know what you're feeling about the ending, the romance, the character development, the political scheming. Everybody's scheming, the undersea, everybody's doing things, and it's just a lot to keep up with, but it's so good. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.